Hey guys, yeah, it's about 7:30 on this Friday, July 8th, 2022, and I'm here to give you another review of a Rescue Ranger episode. And I do apologize if my finger is touching the mic. I'm trying to adjust the mic here. But anyway, like I said, I'm here to give you another Rescue Ranger episode review. And this one is actually kind of, I guess you could say, very popular to an extent with a lot of fans. This one is, well, ironically, it's one that, from what I could tell, and I think you can see it chronologically over on Disney Plus, comes after Double O Chipmunk, or a little around that time frame. And of course, I'm talking about Gadget Goes Hawaiian. And yes, this is the episode where we are introduced to Gadget's doppelganger, evil doppelganger, Lawaini. And what's interesting about this episode is, in the series, we know Gadget is very scatterbrained. We know that. We know that she kind of tries to make a decision, but doesn't really know how to stick to one decision, and that's kind of the crutch of the episode. For her, that's kind of her crutch, if you will, to where she has to learn to make one decision and stick with it. Anyway, the story basically focuses on her doppelganger, who is basically a princess, to a village. She's a princess to the Hawaiian mice village. And, she is basically, I guess you could say, very self-centered, very self-serving, egotistic, and only cares about herself. Basically, she makes it seem like she, cares, about the village, but she doesn't. She makes it look like, she is, able to summon, this mystical volcano god to, answer the prayers and everything. And we find out that what it really is she has somehow, manipulated the control. She's basically found a way to manipulate this resort owner's controls for an automatic volcano that he basically uses to give a spectacle outlook for his customers. Basically, it's an electric volcano in which he gives a very spectacle display of magma and all that for them. Because it's all part of the resort, it's all part of a show, stuff like that. So Lawaini basically has figured out that, hey, my village, or my hut in this village, is right next to the controls. Or at least she finds a way that, she can manipulate having a hut next to the controls and everything to where she can summon them. Well, not summon them, but use them to summon the volcano god. And the only other mouse in the village besides her that knows about this is her boyfriend, a surfer called Shakabeka, who obviously you could tell is kind of good-hearted, but very not so bright, very dim-witted and everything. Like, he accepts the fact, and he's cool with it, that she's fooled the people, or fooled the village with this volcano god nonsense. and everything. But you can tell he's also, like I said, very caring and everything, and that, he does genuinely care, or genuinely, or very genuinely cares for Lawaini. He cares about her very much. So basically, long story short, Lawaini is on the verge of being crowned the queen of the village. Except she doesn't take into consideration that they have this ancient ritual where she has, whoever basically is crowned queen, if not king, has to go through different trials. Basically different individual tests to, earn their opportunity. Like I said, they have to go through different test trials to earn the right to be named king, or in her case, queen. So she doesn't like this, and she's got to figure out a way to basically not fool, but find a way to get, go through with this without going through with it. And Shakabeka, obviously this is why she likes him, is not just, dim-witted, but unexpectedly will say something that strikes a chord with her, that strikes a very brilliant chord with her, like, oh my gosh, you're right, I could do that. And what he comes up with is the fact that what she could do is, fake taking the test, just like she's fake knowing how to basically summon a volcano god. So basically what happens is Lawaini ends up bumping into Gadget. Basically, she's trying to figure out, okay, how can I do this? How can I pull off what Aka suggested? And then this is where she kind of runs into, or bumps into, Gadget. She basically bumps into, well, I wouldn't say bump into, like I said, this is, it's around this time where, she's trying to figure out, okay, how can she pull off faking this like she did with the volcano, like Shakabeka, unironically suggested. And then this is where she bumps into Gadget, or at least she meets up with Gadget, because Gadget is also on her own, because the other Rangers decided, you know what, we're not going to wait for her to make up her mind. And, they just, go the separate ways. So Gadget decides, okay, they want to have their own fun, that's fine, I'll do my own thing too. And this is where Gadget, like I said, meets Lawaini, and Lawaini basically manipulates her into doing the test for her, because Gadget, obviously, again, like I said earlier, the crutch for her character in this story is she can't make up her mind and everything, but also the fact that but also Lawaini takes advantage of the kindness that Gadget has. Like, we know Gadget can get pissed. We know that. I mean, you want a good example of that, check out Dirty Rotten Diapers, which I may also talk about eventually. I think I already did. But we know she can get pissed. We know that. But we also know that outside of that, she's very kind and understanding. So, Gadget does, out of the kindness of her heart, agree to help Lawaini. But over time, she gets suspicious that Lawaini isn't exactly who she says she is. Because what she does basically is she switches places with her. Basically does the, Prince and the Pauper, evil twin taking the place of good twin, doppelganger kind of scenario. And it's during, like I said, it's during the time that Gadget's doing all these, trials, these tests that Lawaini is supposed to do, And again, she's starting to figure out that maybe Lawaini isn't exactly everything, not everything, but isn't exactly who she seems to be. And she tries to, at times, explain to the village people, hey, I'm not who you think you are, except they ignore it. And, here's the thing about the Rangers, though, and mostly Monterey Jack, because Monterey Jack, he knows Gadget better than both Chip and Dale. Monterey gets a little suspicious because Lawaini, posing as Gadget, starts acting very strange, saying she's forgot this, she brings up makeup, bag, purse, and all that, which obviously Gadget does have, but not always on hand and not always wears. So, Monterey gets a little suspicious and everything. And basically, Lawaini realizes, they're getting suspicious, or at least Monterey's getting suspicious, and by extension, so is Chip and Dale. So she decides, okay, I've got to pass one more test, or Gadget's got to pass this one more test, so, she can become queen. So what does she do? Lawaini kind of reveals her true colors by kidnapping Zipper and holding him hostage and telling Gadget, hey, you don't do this, and your friends are going to suffer. So, she explains to her that she basically has the controls to the volcano, the automatic volcano, in her hut. And that if Gadget doesn't do what she tells, or doesn't do what she's asking of her, that her friends are going to suffer. And she basically presents Zipper in a bag steal as proof that she's not bluffing. So Gadget goes through with the test. She goes through with the test, especially if there's a high tide coming in, which, but ironically, believe it or not, the high tide sweeps one of the young kids, out to sea, which Gadget sees. It also, wipes out Lawaini a little bit, splashes her, because Lawaini's trying to, I guess, cheer her on to, make it to the end. Which Gadget, she sees what's happening to the kid, turns around, much to Lawaini's dismay, thinking, oh, you're screwing up. And even the village mice are like, oh, she not make it now. But it's only when Gadget finally decides to stick to a decision to rescue the kid and then ride the wave to the end that Gadget finally learns her lesson, that if you're gonna make a decision, you need to make one decision and stick with it, and that's what she does. This also allows her to finally make a decision on how to finally put a stop to Lawaini, because Lawaini basically exposes herself to the village, which the head chief there finally is able to put two and two together and be like, wait a minute, you didn't pass the test, she did, and Lawaini tries to basically acknowledge, well, hey, all I had to do was survive till sunrise, and I did. Which is kind of true. She did survive till sunrise. Anyway, like I said, when the chief basically doesn't, I guess you could say, live up to his end of the bargain to crown a queen, because again, he figures out the truth, Lawaini threatens to wipe out the village with the volcano. But what happens is that Gadget, really much figures out, how, like I said, how to put a stop to Lawaini's plans. And the way she puts a stop to it is, one, she reverses, and so she reverses the mechanism, which basically allows the hotel resort owner to finally get the volcano spectacular, running appropriately like he wants. And then when Lawaini tries one more time, Gadget makes a decision that instead of allowing her to, finally succeed in trying to destroy the village, with the volcano, that instead she makes the volcano erupt with marshmallows. She just took the last of the marshmallows the Rangers had and stuffed them into the pipe, and it just erupted. And it basically put on another spectacular and everything, but also, covered Lil Whiny completely in marshmallow, just like Gadget got accidentally covered in it earlier in the episode when she tried to tell the Rangers, hey, that's not her, it's me. That's not me, that's somebody else, kind of deal. So yeah, overall the episode it's good. It's a very fun episode. It's based loosely. Its title is based on the Gadget Goes Hawaiian movie. So that was kind of cool. And we do see dynamics with Lil Whiny posing as Gadget, kind of flirting with both Chip and Dale. And both Chip and Dale kind of take this like, oh, okay, maybe this might be an opportunity. If Lil Whiny is like Gadget in some ways, maybe we can have the same experience. And then when both Chip and Dale try to go and kiss her, she basically ducks and runs away, and they end up kissing each other, which Monterey kind of proclaims afterwards. Proclaims afterwards that indeed is Gadget, the one who basically avoided being kissed by the guys. But overall, the episode, like I said, is good. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. And until next time, guys, that's all I'm going to say for this review of Rescue Ranger episode Gadget Goes Hawaiian. And let me know if it's one of your favorites. Super chat during the premiere and the live chat, as well as super stickers are open. And super thanks are also available afterwards. And until next time, guys, let me know how you felt about the episode when you saw it. And I'm out.